David Carr joining the program right now, former NFL QB, former Houston Texans first-round draft pick. How are you, David?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're great. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we obviously know that your brother, Derek, is getting the start week 1. What's your best advice to give him?
Oh, man, my advice to him started a long time ago. He's been sitting in NFL locker rooms and meeting rooms for several years now. I mean, 12 years old, he was in there with us, so he knows what he's doing. At this point, no advice needs to be given. I called him the other night just to talk about Rex and their defense and just some of the things I've seen over the last 6 or 7 times I've played against him. But he was already on top of it. He'd already broken down all the film, and he knows that preparation is the key to this week's game and to all the games that he's going to play from here on out. So he's ready to go.
What do you remember most about your first start?
The energy level in the stadium, because it was the team's first game back in Houston. We were playing the Dallas Cowboys, and it was pretty exciting. We were able to win that game, and the rest of the season didn't go as great. Obviously, when you have a rookie quarterback and 10 rookie starters, it's going to be tough. But you learn a lot, And then there's 2 schools of thought. There's one to sit and wait and watch, and there's other to learn. So if you can protect the kid, if you can protect the young guy and keep him up off his back, and he can actually learn the game while actually doing it, then that's the best way to do it. So hopefully they can take care of him. I know Kevin Booth, and there's some good offensive linemen out there they've brought in. So that's all I care about from a brother's standpoint and a quarterback standpoint, is just making sure he stays upright so he can develop.
Now, one of the things I read an article about you taking care of your brother, and, he stayed at your house and you worked with him to make sure that he was prepared for this moment. What were some of the things that you probably said to him in order to kind of get him ready for this moment? Because he feels like, as I watched him during the preseason, he's more poised than most rookie quarterbacks. And he just has this way about his command within the huddle. I mean, you had to give him some amazing tips.
Well, I think one of the things that I told him is at some point your team's going to call on you to be the guy, and this was before even the draft. There was you try not to get caught up in where you're going to get picked, what team you're going to be on. I said, dude, you're going to go, and the first, second round doesn't matter. At some point, that team is going to want you to start a football game. So we have to prepare as if you're going to be a starting quarterback at some point, and that kind of gave him peace to kind of go throughout the whole thing and not really kind of ride the roller coaster of the emotions that goes along with that whole process. And it's the same thing when he went to training camp this year. I said, you just got to prepare as if you're going to start a game at some point. Don't worry about the emotions of, now I took more reps than the first team guy this week, and the next week I'm not taking as many. Just prepare as if you're going to go out and start a football game. And that's what he's done, and so far it's worked out, and he's about ready to start one this Sunday. So I think just mindset has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, and then also his draft stock falling a bit, and one of the things they said was about his toughness. And talk about some of the stuff that he did when he was at school in terms of getting back to his toughness, getting back to feeling comfortable within the pocket, and some of the things that you made sure that he measured up against.
Yeah, a lot of the things with the toughness that came up after the USC game, and they didn't play great. They got beat pretty bad in that bowl game. A lot of it was just they didn't have any answers. They got out schemed, and Coach Stram did a great job all year. His offensive coordinator at Fresno, they play kind of a basketball on grass type game, and USC just came out and pressed them up, played man coverage, and just said you're gonna have to beat us one-on-one. And those guys didn't really do that all year. They didn't really have the offensive. They had weapons, but they didn't have the scheme to say, okay, now we got to go out here and just play one-on-one and beat these guys. So it was more of a gimmicky type deal. So they looked bad. They looked like Derek looked like he was rushing the ball, looked like he was trying to get out of the pocket, move around. It's really because they had no answers. Now, if he knows where he's going with the football and he's confident in the defense that he's seeing and the scheme that he has. You've seen this preseason. He'll step there and make a play because he probably has the most confidence in his arm that I've seen out of any young quarterback, even veteran quarterback, in a long time. So he feels like there's not a throw that he can't make. So if he knows that he has the ability to make a big play, or he knows that the guy's going to be given a chance to be open, then he'll step up in there and make a throw. So I look forward to that. It's just when you have that unsure, that uncertainty, that's where you get in trouble.
Joined by David Carr here on the Dan Patrick Show. Do you have a Derek Carr jersey yet?
No, he won't send me one. It's kind of rude, right?
Do you feel like you should buy one, or you should maybe get the first one, seeing as how you're like dishing
Well, I mean,
out all this advice? You're the big bro.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, dude, I mean, what do I have to do? I mean,
Yeah, what's the story?
I mean, his son gets one. My boys have one. I mean, it's like, I mean, little kids are getting jerseys before me. So, you know, I realized that, you know, you just, at some point, the big brother just kind of gets passed over, and the young guy just kind of thinks he can do it all on his own. So, you know, it's what it is.
Riddle me this. What if the Raiders called and wanted you to be his backup?
I would help that guy out. I mean, I've told people from a long time ago, if I'm coming back to play, I'm going to come back to help a young guy out. And it just so happened that my brother's a young guy, and he's getting a chance to start. And you just never know what can be down the line. But no, there's absolutely no doubt I would definitely do that for him.
Well, David, you're a free agent right now. Where would you ideally like to play?
I want to be on the field. I want to play. At this point, I've stood and watched, and you know, kind of been that guy. But I think that the situation would have to come up now with my family. We have four kids. My youngest is a daughter, 3 years old, and I can't just take off and just go to stand and hold a clipboard anymore. It's not that important to me. But what would be is if I could come in and actually help the team. If I can come in and, you know, be a veteran guy, maybe just be the backup and help a guy that's young, trying to start out and trying to make something out of his career, or be a guy that comes in and actually has to win a couple games for a team that's trying to contend for something. So that's intriguing to me. And there's a lot of spots out there that have expressed interest. And over the course of the season, quarterbacks get nicked, things happen. So we're definitely keeping everything open this year, and we'll see where it leads. But no, I'm definitely open for whatever.
Come on, give us some hints. Who's looking at you? St. Louis, Buffalo, maybe Jets calling you. You know, who's calling you?
You're
Come
smart,
on,
man. You're smart.
Oh,
you're smart.
You're not going to give it to me? Come on, man.
No, all those teams we've been in contact with all those teams. Yeah, every one of those. Every team that isn't doesn't have a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning or a Drew Brees. I mean, it's basically they're looking for a guy to come in and help them out. So, yeah, all those teams we've been in contact with. So it's just a matter of time. You know how it is. You know how this league is.
And what are you doing to stay in shape? Just chasing those kids around? I mean, that's pretty much a lot of work.
Chasing the kids around, yeah. And then me and Derek actually, as soon as he was drafted, we bought some land out here in California.
Whoa! Stop this. Wait. So you just, as soon as he was drafted, you just bought some land to work out?
Yeah. So basically, we are building a facility out here, and we're training young athletes in the Central Valley where we grew up, because Derek grew up out here. I grew up out here. We trained here, getting ready for the draft, both me and him, with the same trainer, my buddy from Fresno, and we opened a gym up with him and built a football field back there, and we're trying to help as many young kids as we can. So that's keeping me busy, and it's keeping me out of my wife's hair. So she's super happy that I have something to do.
Yeah, I saw you guys pushing around trucks and everything else like that. But
yeah, it's fun, man. It's Bakersfield, dude. It's not like the coast. You know, we're kind of country out here, so we push trucks. We
yeah,
throw
I
hay.
do that on the regular as well. David, a quick question here. Dahani and I argue about Johnny Manziel all of the time. How long before he takes the reins from Brian Hoyer?
You know what? Johnny's an interesting character, because we've never really had a guy like that. I mean, he's so dynamic as far as what he can do athletically. And you've seen in the preseason, he literally can just run around guys sometimes. The problem is, at some point, you have to play quarterback also. Now, that stuff is great, and I tell Derek all the time, Derek's a good athlete. He can move around, and he does so when he needs to. And his favorite superhero growing up was Batman. And so I was like, hey, man, you don't always have to be Batman on the field. Sometimes you can be Bruce Wayne. Just go throughout the day, do your job as a quarterback, go through your reads, make plays. And then when you have to, you can throw the cape on and run around. But I think sometimes Johnny just rocks the cape all the time, you know, and he's just out there just trying to make something happen until he learns to actually play the position and play quarterback and go through his reads and then rely on his athleticism, kind of like a Russell Wilson does, you know, to get out of the pocket and still make plays down the field. That's when he'll be dangerous. And that's when the Browns will have no choice but to put him on the field. So it's just a matter of learning the system and feeling comfortable to where he trusts his guys more than he trusts himself. And that's going to be hard, because he's a freak. You know, he's a super athletic guy that thinks he can make every play. So it's just going to take some time. He'll be out there. He'll be out there soon enough, probably even before the season's over.
So you're saying second series of the first game?
Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, with the pressure, I mean, but really, are you going to watch a Browns game if he's not playing?
Thank you.
Out there,
Thank you. Finally,
I'm
someone.
not watching the Browns game.
Someone tells me the truth.
Well, we will definitely be
honest.
watching the Raiders game. Good luck to your family this weekend. Good luck to you the rest of this season. David Carr, thanks for stopping by.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, David.